Ever wondered why the ancient Egyptians went to such great lengths to preserve their dead? And why we're still fascinated by these silent witnesses of the past? Welcome to the enigmatic world of mummies, a realm where history, culture, and mystery intertwine. Mummification, a practice that dates back thousands of years, is perhaps one of the most fascinating aspects of ancient Egyptian culture. But why, you ask? Why would a civilization go through such elaborate rites and rituals just to preserve the bodies of the deceased? The answer lies in their belief system. The ancient Egyptians believed in life after death. They thought that the soul, or Ka, needed the body as a home in the afterlife. To ensure the Ka didn't wander lost, they preserved the bodies of their dead, creating what we now know as mummies. But mummification wasn't a process that was developed overnight. The earliest known mummies from ancient Egypt date back to around 5,000 years ago. These were not the result of the complex mummification processes we associate with ancient Egypt today, but rather a natural process where the dry desert sand preserved the bodies. The mystery that surrounds these early mummies is their simplicity. They lack the elaborate tombs and grave goods that became synonymous with later Egyptian mummies. This raises questions about the evolution of mummification and the beliefs associated with it. Yet our fascination with mummies endures. These time capsules provide us with invaluable insights into the lives, beliefs, and practices of a civilization long gone. They bridge the gap between the past and present, allowing us to marvel at the sophistication of ancient societies. But as we unravel these ancient secrets, we're often left with more questions than answers. The world of mummies is shrouded in mystery, from the elaborate rituals of mummification to the cryptic symbols adorning their tombs. As we delve deeper, you'll find the journey through time unraveling mysteries that have both puzzled and fascinated us for centuries. The earliest known mummies weren't pharaohs or nobles, but prehistoric individuals who lived in Egypt before the rise of the first dynasties. Yes, you heard it right. The first mummies weren't wrapped in linen or adorned with golden masks. They were ordinary people from the late Stone Age, specifically from a period known as the Badarian era. These Badarian mummies are a fascinating enigma. Discovered in the desolate expanses of the Egyptian desert, they offer a glimpse into a time nearly 7,000 years ago. Unlike the meticulously prepared mummies of later epochs, these prehistoric bodies were not mummified through human intervention. Instead, the arid desert environment naturally preserved them, leaving us with a record of life and death in the pre-dynastic era. The desert, with its hot, dry climate, was a natural preserver. It sucked out the moisture from the bodies, leaving behind the skin, hair, and bones. The sand, acting as a protective blanket, shielded them from scavengers and decay. This natural mummification process was a slow, gradual one, taking place over hundreds of years. In the absence of written records or elaborate tombs, these naturally preserved bodies provide invaluable insights into the lives of prehistoric Egyptians. Their discovery has sparked many questions. What were their lives like? How did they die? What did they believe in? These questions, though seemingly simple, are shrouded in mystery. The mummies remain silent, their secrets locked away by the sands of time. Yet, these prehistoric mummies have much to teach us. They provide a narrative of human existence, resilience, and evolution. They tell us about the harshness of life in the desert, the struggle for survival, and the inevitability of death. They speak of a time when the grand pyramids were yet to be built, a time when the concept of pharaohs and nobles was yet to be conceived. So, while we marvel at the grandeur of the pharaohs and their elaborate burial practices, let's not forget these humble beginnings. Let's not overlook the ordinary individuals who lived, loved, and died in the unforgiving desert, leaving behind the earliest known mummies. These prehistoric mummies, though silent, whisper tales of a time long before the grandeur of the pharaohs. The pharaohs believed in an afterlife, a belief so strong It led to the creation of some of the most intricate burial rituals in human history. In ancient Egypt, the afterlife was a mirror image of life on earth, and to ensure a comfortable afterlife, the pharaohs went to great lengths. This belief gave birth to the elaborate process of mummification, a process as fascinating as it is intricate. The mummification process began with the removal of the body's internal organs. The heart, however, was left intact, as the Egyptians believed it to be the center of a person's being and intelligence. Each organ was then preserved separately, treated with natron, a natural salt mixture, to dry them out, and then individually wrapped in linen. But why were the organs preserved separately? The ancient Egyptians believed that in the afterlife, the deceased would need all their organs for the resurrection of their body. The organs were stored in special containers known as canopic jars, each jar guarded by a different deity, further highlighting the spiritual importance of the process. But the mummification process was just one part of their journey to the afterlife. The pharaohs' bodies were then placed in ornate coffins and buried in grand tombs, often within pyramids. These tombs were filled with treasures, food, and everyday objects. These were not mere grave goods, but necessities for the pharaohs in their afterlife journey. These tombs and pyramids, symbols of the pharaoh's status and power, were more than just final resting places. They were gateways to the afterlife, designed to protect the royal bodies and their treasures from tomb robbers, and to serve as a beacon for the pharaoh's ka, or spirit, to find its way back to the body. The pharaohs may have departed, but their cryptic afterlife continues to intrigue us. Through their elaborate rituals and beliefs, they have left us a rich tapestry to unravel, a testament to their quest for eternity and a window into an ancient civilization that continues to fascinate us. It wasn't just the pharaohs who were mummified. Commoners too found their way into the afterlife, albeit in a less grandiose fashion. As we delve deeper into the labyrinth of Egyptian history, we encounter the intriguing practice of commoner mummification. Yes, you heard that right. Pharaohs were not the sole beneficiaries of the ancient Egyptians' obsession with the afterlife. Common folks, though not as lavishly, also had their bodies preserved for the journey beyond the mortal realm. In the later periods of Egyptian history, as the art of mummification became more widespread, it was not just the upper echelons of society who could afford the luxury of a preserved afterlife. The process for the commoners was less opulent, using simpler methods and materials. Yet the belief in a life after death and the need for a physical body in that life was so deeply ingrained in the Egyptian psyche that even the common man sought to be mummified. A compelling testament to this are the mummy pits of Egypt. These pits are veritable treasure troves of historical and anthropological data. Unlike the solitary grandeur of the pharaoh's tombs, these pits often contain multiple mummies, huddled together, wrapped in coarse linen, and packed in simple wooden coffins. These are the mummies of the common people, the workers, the artisans, the merchants, those who built and sustained the civilization we so admire today. The mystery of these mummy pits is riveting. Why were these commoners mummified en masse? Were they victims of a calamity or a plague? Or was it a simpler reason, a lack of space perhaps? The answers, like the mummies themselves, are shrouded in layers of historical intrigue. The commoners, though not as grand as the pharaohs, add an equally intriguing chapter to the mystery of mummification. Their stories, though not inscribed in gold or etched in grand tombs, are preserved in the fabric of their mummified remains, waiting for us to unravel the mysteries of a civilization long gone, but far from forgotten. And of course, what's a mummy without a curse? The infamous curse of the pharaohs has been a source of both dread and fascination, leaving an indelible mark on popular culture. Many attribute it to the pharaoh's wrath for disturbing their eternal slumber. The mystery deepens when we consider the sudden and often unexplained deaths of those who dared to violate these ancient tombs. Take, for instance, the famed Egyptologist Lord Carnarvon, who perished under mysterious circumstances shortly after the opening of Tutankhamun's tomb. His sudden demise, along with the untimely deaths of several others linked to such expeditions, fueled the belief in a deadly curse. Even today, despite advances in science and technology, the curse of the pharaohs remains an enigma. Some dismiss it as mere superstition, while others firmly believe in the power of the pharaoh's curse. Whether it's mere superstition or a genuine curse, the fear it instills adds to the enigma of the mummies.